Scheana Shay, welcome to Live from Bed.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. We could have done this in person.
I know we live so close to each other, but like we said, we're so happy we didn't because we're both not wearing real pants, and that's important, you know?
No hands. Live from bed. I love it.
Okay, so I have to out myself. I am a complete Vanderpump Rules professional. Like I know it front to back.
Oh
Like
my
I,
gosh.
my dog right now who can hear you, like he was raised on your voice. So like this is an incredible situation for me.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. So I have to do a little housekeeping. I have to get a few things out of the way first before we
Okay.
dive into your book, which I'm so excited to talk to you about. I got to ask some fan questions. I
Okay.
just have to. Okay, so first of all, what's your reaction to Jax leaving the Valley?
I think that was a smart decision he made. I think he needs to focus on his mental health and his sobriety right now and be the best version of himself so he can be the best father to Cruz. And, I don't think he said he's leaving television forever, but I think for now that is a smart choice.
And does this mean that there's been a spot that's opened up maybe for you to be full time?
Maybe. We'll
Okay.
see.
I love it. So what for you, I was like rewatching, I rewatch it constantly, but what for you is the hardest Vanderpump Rules season to rewatch?
Oh my gosh, I don't rewatch any of them for my mental health. One day, if I end up doing like a recap podcast or something, I will watch it for research purposes only. But I would say the one I cringe the most with is season 6.
Mm,
Rob hung a freaking TV.
so good.
Yeah, I don't enjoy seeing any of those scenes. The early seasons, I can laugh and cringe, but 6 was a different level of cringe that I would prefer to just like never see again.
To just leave in the past. Have you spoken to Rob?
Yeah, we keep in touch a little bit. We still follow each other. He lives in
Yeah.
Dallas now, so I
Okay.
don't see him much anymore, but we're still on good terms, but the book isn't out yet, so that changed.
Well, I just have to thank you for gifting me. Like, I think my favorite Vanderpump scene, which is like a really big claim for me to make, is it's a deleted scene or like was in like the whatever Secrets Revealed episode
Yes.
when Shay sings to you after your wedding. Like, there has never been better television. Like that was just poetic.
Yeah, well, and then you learn in the book more about what he partook in before that.
It was something. God bless him. It had to have been. It was so, and you're such a good sport. Like
Yes.
it was, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. So that's my favorite scene to rewatch personally.
Love it.
Have you spoken to him? And is it going to be weird when the book comes out for him?
He and I actually met up a few months ago. We had lunch. We went to Casa Vega. That's like my little
The
safe
best.
haven over here on this side of the hill.
I'm going there tomorrow.
And I told him about it. I felt like I owed him an in-person conversation. And the second I told him about it, he knows I've always had a dream of writing a book and just sharing my lived experiences with the world. So he was really genuinely excited for me. And that made me happy. I didn't know which way that lunch was going to go. I'm like, this could go south real quick. Take my food to go. I don't know. But he was like, genuinely, his face lit up and was like so happy for me. And I said, is there anything you're worried about being in the book? And actually, this was a while ago because I think I still had time, like if I needed to make edits.
Right.
And he was like, no, it's your story. I don't give an F. Whatever you put in it, it's fine. He's like, I'm in a good place. I've grown. And
He
yeah,
was always sweet.
just really happy for me. And I said, do you want this was a few days ago, actually. I was like, hey, I just got physical copies of the book. Would you like me to send you one before it comes out? And he's like, hell yeah, sign that shit. And I was like,
No.
okay.
That's sweet. I feel like he's always been your biggest fan. Like, he was always sweet like that.
Yeah, and vice versa, So you say that moment at the wedding, but like in the moment, despite his eyes being glazed over, which you find out in the book why, and Tom Sandoval had something to do with that.
Oh,
But I loved that song that he wrote for me. It was so sweet. It was from the heart. And
No, it was so tender. Like
yeah,
that, he's just like him really pouring his heart out. And it was so sweet. And like he was nervous. It's like my favorite scene. I swear to God. Me and my friends send it back and forth to each other like constantly. I'm
I
obsessed.
just I just saw that my friend Demi sent it to me the other day on Instagram and she goes, "Was this your wedding? Is that your ex-husband?" I was like, "Oh my God, that's like resurfacing." I
Because
forgot.
only real ones saw it because it was
Yeah.
like like a deleted scene or whatever. Oh
Yep.
my God. Speaking of scenes, I know you recently, with all the book press and everything, came out about a scene that you, Lala, Ariana, and Katie kind of manufactured. So that was like your guys' doing because season 9 was probably a struggle, I would
Oh
imagine.
my God, it was so hard to get through. They're doing photos of toes
I was
and
gonna
like
say.
I was like, you guys, what show are we on? I was so thankful I didn't get a call time that day for the feet photo shoot. It was, I mean, it was a struggle. So, yeah, we felt like, okay, you guys don't know what you're doing. So, we need to do something entertaining. You want us to bring this up? Well, we'll do it. But yeah, that was the one and only time I can truly remember us as cast members coming together and orchestrating something because no one had any idea. And I felt so bad after, I mean, thankfully James and Raquel didn't work out anyways.
Yeah.
We did feel bad after. We're like, did we just ruin their party?
No, but you took one for the team. Like
We
that
did. You're
party was funded
welcome.
by the show. Like they needed
Yeah.
that. A
We
hundred
got another
percent.
season. We got two more seasons.
But yeah, like broke my heart. I mean, not really. I was also like just thrilled to find it out. But when I found out the scene where Tom pours the drink on Katie was fake or like redone,
Yeah.
it was like finding out Santa wasn't real. Like it was a real struggle for me.
No, literally. And that's the thing with pickup scenes is it's not a fake scene. It's just a reenactment where sometimes maybe at that instance, it was the camera girl had like, it was like a cramp in her shoulder or something. And she set the camera down for like 1 second, but that
Oh,
camera, it just, and they're like, we missed this huge moment. It's being talked about. But
yeah.
Katie and Schwartz, they were team players,
That was good acting. I'm here to say.
the best.
Like honestly, like they should have gotten some award for that. That was really like, you got me. I was fully
Yeah.
convinced that was real.
Also the number one guy in the group.
No,
Yep.
Sheena.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. It was like a few nights before at my house. That was after we were done filming, and it became such a thing the next day that
Okay,
we
but he
had
was
to
like
do.
so intoxicated. So he got like re-intoxicated.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, which I don't think it was that hard for him. But wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because he was definitely okay. Wow, that's nuts. So they had to redo that scene, and he was
Yeah.
fully game. Like I'm absolutely gonna say that again.
I'm the number one guy in the group.
I
Yeah.
mean, thank God we need
I
that.
know. But it's so funny, like some of these iconic scenes, it was like, I mean, thank God we did do a pickup because
Yeah.
like you need to have that on camera. Like
Where
he
would we be
actually
if we
said
didn't have?
those words. He actually poured a beer on her head.
Okay, so they're more like pickups than like manufactured fake
Oh,
fake.
100%. It's something that actually really happened, but wasn't caught on camera. So whether it
Right.
was a conversation we had off camera that now we're going to have at lunch because we need
Okay.
to get that story on the show. We can't just be like, oh, well, last night Jack said this. It's like the audience needs to see it.
Got it. Okay. So which of your Vanderpump co-stars is like, I hate running into people in general. Like there are so many people I don't want to run into. Who's it most awkward for you to run into?
I haven't ran into Katie in a while. I think the last time I saw her was like last year on Pride. I stopped by something about her and gave her an awkward hug. Um, Tom Sandoval, I run into at a music festival on occasion, and that's always a little awkward.
What about Stassi?
Stassi, it's not awkward with her. We see each other at kids' birthday parties, whether it's our own kids at each other's birthday parties or mutual friends, and no awkwardness there. We pick up where we left off, and I always enjoy my conversations with her.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I love that so much. What moment do you cringe at most, like from the show? Like, are you like, okay, like I just never want to remember that that happened?
All of season 6.
Yeah. That's
And
it.
the
Period.
tights I wore on the bar season 2, singing Good as Gold. They looked like a darker nude in the package, and I put them on in the Sir bathroom, and I'm like, we either go with ass out and cellulite, or I put these tights on, and I chose
It
the.
was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect. No notes. So in your book, so we talked about like the hardest part of like the show to revisit, but what part of the book was the hardest to write or were you most hesitant about putting in?
Chapter 16, that was actually, I think, the first fully written chapter
Hmm.
because I didn't know if I wanted to put it in the book yet. I didn't know if this was something we were going to take to the grave, if this was something we were going to open up about on the next season. We really went back and forth with it. And then when we thought about the timeline, enough time had passed that we processed it. I forgave him. I made the decision to stay and to work on our marriage and our family. And if we were on the normal timeline of season 12, and that was, a part of the story, then that would have aired before the book came out. So it's like, if this is something we're going to talk about, then we need to talk about it in the book. And it felt like the book would be incomplete without it. I felt that I would be inauthentic if I didn't open up about this. Like, how am I going to go and write a memoir and not talk about one of the most devastating things that's happened to me, but also something that I've overcome. And I think I'm a stronger person because of it. So many conversations, several therapies, sessions, couples therapy, and a lot of tears. But we decided ultimately, this was a story that needed to be told. And it was difficult to write. There were so many drafts of that. I read the first draft to Brock, and he was like, absolutely not. You're not putting that in the book like this. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't made like a decision 100%. He goes, if you're putting it in the book, tell the whole story. He's like, you're trying to be vague and beat around the bush, and you're not just saying exactly what happened. So if you're going to say it, say it with your whole chest. And so I did. I offered for him to read it again before the book was due, and he said, it's your story, whatever you want to say. He just read it like a week or two ago when I got the physical copy of the book, and he goes, oh, you really did put it all out there. I'm like, you told me to add more details. So I did.
Right.
But
Right.
I think he just didn't understand at the time truly the magnitude of how much this affected me and how
Yeah.
deeply it affected me. So that was hard for him. It was really difficult to get through that chapter on the audiobook, but I just knew that I would be doing a disservice to the readers and myself if I didn't tell my full truth and the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on TV or in the public eye for so long, but I imagine that there's really nothing that can prepare you for, and your marriage for what the internet will say when something like this comes out. Like, has it been hard in these couple weeks, like receiving all that feedback?
I have mostly stayed out of the comment section just because I am doing so many interviews right now. I'm trying to just be in a good headspace to promote the book and not focus on if I say this, then the audience is going to think this. And I'm really just trying to authentically be me and be as open of a book as possible. So I've gotten the highlights from my team of what people are saying, what I may need to respond to and whatnot, but I haven't actually went into the comment section and looked. Brock did and then realized he shouldn't. So he's staying out of that right now as well. Because yeah, it has been hard. People have very strong opinions and well deserved. I understand it. But yeah, it's been challenging
Yeah.
to navigate this all being known publicly. And still, the book isn't fully out. Everyone hasn't read the full book. They've just read the excerpts and they're just basing everything off of that. And I'm like, how about you read the whole story and then leave a review?
Totally.
Don't do the thing they do on the podcast where it's I love you or I hate you. It's a 1 or it's a 5.
Yeah.
Like, give a real review.
Yeah, exactly. When you were writing it, were you finding yourself like censoring when you would tap into the fact that like maybe your daughter would read that part one day, or did you just kind of have to forget that to write the truth?
A little bit of both, depending on the stories.
Yeah.
I absolutely could have expanded more on my young Hollywood days.
Hmm.
I'm like, I'm giving enough. I don't think I need to say that much more in my memoir. It's not gonna make the book a bestseller if I talk a little bit more about my Hollywood days. Will it make it a little more juicy? Sure. But with things like that, I did hold back a little, but then there are other stories in the book that, I'll have to explain to her one day. And I hope that me putting that last dedication to her and the acknowledgments at the end of the book, I hope that I don't embarrass her. I hope that I always make her proud, but I know that I'm not perfect and I am going to mess up, and that's just a human thing. So,
I actually think it's better when moms mess up and like are open about it. Like I had a mom that was always open about that kind of stuff, and I felt like I could tell her all of my inevitable fuck ups because I was
yeah,
like, she's been so open with me. Like I actually feel like it works in the opposite way.
yeah,
Is John Mayer in the book?
he is. And could have gone in more detail about that, but out of respect and for how much I love Andy Cohen, I was like, we'll just keep it surface.
Uh-huh. I love it. Oh my God, I'm so excited to read this book. Back to the Brock and you situation. I read that like that you said it felt like I truly got my karma. And
Mhm.
obviously like that makes me so sad because no one ever deserves that. And you say like I didn't deserve him cheating on me, but it felt like that at the time, I can imagine. Have you spoken to Brandi since you guys were on TV together?
Yeah, I keep in touch with her. I've seen her at BravoCon. I've seen her at events. We have each other's phone numbers. We'll text. I haven't talked to her recently since the excerpts and whatnot have come out, but I am going to reach out to her this week because I do want to get her a copy of the book before the world reads it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I think probably at this point, do you guys bond over the fact that you've both kind of come to the realization that you were both pawns of Lisa's game?
That's one thing we haven't discussed yet.
Mm.
So maybe we do a future podcast.
Okay, I love it. You need to. You absolutely need to. So
Mhm.
I love how you write about the book, whether it was following my mom's rules as a child or changing my look to fit in at school or taking Lisa's calls. I've let their narratives and guidance define me. What would Lisa call about?
So I do detail this all in the book, just suggestions about, a scene, what should be said, what should be tweeted. I can't tell you what to say, but this might be in your best interest. And just a lot of conversations like that, wanting to get a narrative across, but not necessarily tell it herself.
Hmm. Okay. So like it was always like manipulative to try to alter how the story was going to go.
Sure, if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
You
that's a
said
nice way of putting it.
it.
Okay. And did she know that she could impact you the most, or would she try it with everyone?
That's the thing. I don't know if everyone else was getting these calls. I felt like in the beginning it was just a normal thing. And I'm like, oh, I guess she's just calling all of us to, kind of coach us through the day. This is so new to us, new territory. But I think she did know that I was an easier one to get to. I am naturally a people pleaser. I like to make everyone happy. I like to follow orders. I am that rule following kid still. I don't want to upset my boss, my producer. If you want me to do something, like, okay, you say jump, I say how high.
Do you think it took Vanderpump Rules ending for you to really take a look at yourself and realize that? Or was it the fact that you were on TV and you were able to have that perspective? Like, what did it take, or was it having your daughter? What did it take to ultimately like shift that the most in you?
Kind of all of the above, honestly. Definitely having my daughter changed me. I see, different things as importance where before I didn't necessarily. I think that I look at friendships and relationships differently and yeah, just really seeing what's important in my life. Having a kid definitely changes you. And as far as the Lisa of it and all of that goes, I think season 11, certain conversations that were had, certain scenes that needed to be filmed, and trips that needed to be gone on. These are things that I wouldn't necessarily have been ready to do a few months post Scandival, conversations I wasn't ready to have. But, Lisa knew how to get to me and Lala, and she sat us down. And despite Sandoval having an affair, it didn't warrant the death penalty. And
Mm.
so when I hear that he is suicidal, that struck a chord. I also open up in the book about someone close to me who I lost to suicide. So I didn't want that to happen. So, okay, if I need to give him some grace, if I need to, go to Tahoe and do this meditation thing, I did it. And looking back now, maybe I could have said no. I could have stood my ground a little more. I could have found a better way to do it. But at the time, I had a whole internal battle I was dealing with myself, and I was suffering in silence, and I was keeping the biggest secret in. And so my actions weren't completely on brand with my normal character. But at that time, I was just kind of in survival mode. And I was like, wait, what's the scene? This is what I have to do. Like, okay. It was just like, it felt kind of robotic and extremely emotional. And I was just going through the motions and getting through the season.
Were there other people that knew about what you weren't telling people? No, you were the only one.
My publicist, I called immediately after Brock told me. I'm not immediately, I called him the next morning and just was like, hey, heads up, if there's like a blind item or something that comes out, like it's true, but like give me a heads up. We gotta, damage control, figure this out. I don't know what I want to do. And other than that, I shortly after flew to New York for Watch What Happens Live, and I opened up to my best guy friend Nima. And other than that, Brock's sister. Her
Okay.
I called immediately, not even thinking that it was Easter and daytime in Australia, and she was with 50 family members. I'm like, you need to step outside right now.
You're like, it's an emergency.
Yeah, but those were the only people who knew for a really, really long time. And it took me over a year to open up to my family and a couple of my closest friends.
Do you feel like when all this stuff is kind of coming out right now because of the book, it's on your terms, of course, but is it harder than it is when it comes out on TV, or is it the same? How are those related?
In this sense, I'm controlling my narrative. So, in that, it makes it a little easier because I know what's coming out, how it's coming out, and when it's coming out. Whereas when it's on the show, if we filmed season 11 and we discussed this on the show, which I was not ready to do, it wasn't that I was hiding it. I wasn't going to hide it forever, but I needed to hide it until I was able to process it and figure out what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So, that was difficult, but I did it. Now, like if I would have filmed that for the show and if we would have put it out on any season, and when we talk about this in the future, I don't have any control over how that comes out,
Hmm.
when it comes out, what episode it's going to
Right.
air in, who's on Watch What Happens Live for that week. So with putting it out this way, fortunately enough, we didn't film about it yet. So
Mm,
I was able to put it out on my timeline, and that's not normal in this world. We usually get
totally.
caught by surprise a lot more. So in that sense, it's made it easier. But whatever our future is on reality TV, it's not like this is never going to be discussed. So
Right.
I'm just glad that I was able to get it out on my terms and that the people I told, it didn't leak once I opened up to more people.
Was there anyone in your closer circle or anyone that you used to film with that found out through like online or found like that you didn't tell personally?
Yeah, I felt really bad. Allie found out online the other day and she texted me and I was like, "Oh my gosh. There was a night when she was here and I wanted to open up and tell her, but we were drinking and then it was just like I didn't want her to forget what I said. I didn't want to have to re-explain it the next day. And we were just talking about James and I was talking about my ex and addiction. And it didn't feel like the right time in that conversation when we were talking about other things. So since then, every time I've been around Allie, it's been group events. It's just not been the right time. And so with her, I felt really bad because I did want to tell her, didn't want her to find out about that online. Like other people on Vanderpump Rules who I don't keep in close contact with, I'm assuming they just found out when everyone else did. But
Yeah.
as far as like my close circle, yeah, she was up there with, I was like, damn it, I should have told you. And
It's hard. I mean, that's a hard truth to like drop casually.
yeah,
You need like the proper time and place. Is there anyone that you're like pissed at for not reaching out?
a lot of people haven't reached out yet.
Yeah.
Also, I understand that the book is not fully out yet. People haven't read the full story yet, but I was kind of surprised that a couple people, didn't just
Mhm.
text me, even though I didn't tell you about it before. Whenever people say, has anyone checked in on Scheana? Now would be the time to check
Right.
in and just say, hey, I know you didn't tell me about this, but like sending you love. Hope
Yeah.
you're okay. Just like the littlest sentiment. So I can't say I'm surprised, but I am disappointed.
Yeah, of course. When you're writing a book like this, I know just from interviewing like other Bravo stars, like there are parameters in place, there are things that you aren't allowed to say and are allowed to say. Do you get in trouble for admitting that scenes are manufactured, or are there things that you're not allowed to say about how the show is made?
So I would have thought so, but my book did have to go through a full network and legal review, and it was able to stay in the book. So I was like,
Hell
oh
yeah.
my gosh, you're letting me talk about this? Like I
Yeah.
thought there were going to be so many things that they're like, can't say this, can't say this, can't say this. So I wrote it all, and then it went through a full review.
Okay. And how are you there for Janet? How is she handling all of this? Like, that's a really hard position to be in. And have you felt like you've been there before?
Not on this level. I
Yeah,
mean, the vitriol, it's Scandival level for her, and
it's
it's so
crazy.
unwarranted. It's crazy. But I have just been, a shoulder to cry on, a person to talk to. I've reminded her to stay out of the comment section. I've told her to delete the Instagram app from her phone, have her friend keep her account active and run it for a bit. She just took a well-deserved and needed family vacation to Switzerland. And so I know that was just good for her to decompress. I was with her last night for her mom's birthday. And I mean, most days she's in good spirits, which is amazing. She's a very strong person.
Jesus, yeah.
And hopefully, as the show continues, people get to see the Dave and Buster's side of Janet, who I know and love.
Right. So I feel like in your book, like everyone, it's funny because I was actually at lunch the other day and I was telling someone that I was interviewing you and they were like, "Oh, I feel like I know everything about her." And I was like, "I really know that you don't because as you can see in your book, there is so much that you didn't say on TV. Who of your castmates would you say had not a double life, but who like had the most going on behind the scenes that we didn't see?"
Probably Lisa.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
played that
I
well.
feel like the rest of us pretty much put it all out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, is, we sign up to give 100% of our lives for sure. But I don't think just because I had a conversation last night and I'm filming today that that conversation has to be repeated.
Hmm.
Just because I didn't open up about this season 11 doesn't mean I was hiding it. I wasn't ready to speak about it yet. It
Right.
is being spoken about now that I've had time to process it.
Hmm.
And I don't think we owe everyone everything the second that it's given to us.
Yeah,
Sometimes we need to release things on our own timeline, and I think that's okay.
totally. And lastly, I'm so curious about this new season of Vanderpump Rules. Have you heard anything about it? What are your thoughts? Do you feel like bitter about it? Like I'd feel like fuck you. Like we could have done like a season 12.
I mean, we couldn't have because honestly, it would have looked so different. The group was so fractured. We didn't really know where to go from there. So could we have done a short farewell season or a special or something? Sure. Maybe one day, we have like a 10-year reunion, like high school, and we come back together. Who knows? Um, but the new cast, I am friends with a couple of the girls.
Of course you are. Sheena is friends with
Friends with
everyone.
everyone,
It's
but
amazing.
one of them has worked there for many years. Like I genuinely worked with her. When I lived in Vegas, her and her then boyfriend were visiting and came to my show and I brought them on stage. And this is back in like 2018. So I've known her for a really long time. I'm happy that she's finally getting her shot on the show because I tried to get her on it for so long and it was like I was the only one she was friends with, so they just weren't interested at the time. And then one of the other girls who is new, she's a bartender, she's a singer, and she's like, everyone's saying I'm the Sheena of the show. And I was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, no, it's a compliment. I love it. And I was like, okay, cool.
That
But
is a
yeah,
compliment.
I'm excited to watch, I don't
Yeah.
know how much I'll be able to relate to 20 somethings working in a restaurant, but I
Right.
thoroughly enjoy watching Southern hospitality. So
Yeah. And do they actually work there? Like, and what season did you stop working there for real?
After we went through a global pandemic.
Oh, really? But you worked there properly, like before, even not on camera.
Yes, I worked there a lot less, seasons
Yeah.
7 and 8 for sure. I don't think I was on the schedule as much. It was more I can kind of come in whenever I want. Like I would text the manager and be like, "Hey, I'm free tonight. Do you want me to come in for a couple hours?" And I would clock in. I would get my very small paycheck, but I wouldn't pull tips. I'm like, "No, I'm here to just take photos, take some orders, help out." But I enjoyed doing that. I feel like I was the last and only one who enjoyed doing that. And
Yeah.
had we not gone into a pandemic and I had a baby, I probably would have gone back to SUR because I loved working there. It was fun, especially when I got to come in on my own schedule and I didn't have to trade shifts for an audition or I want to go out of town, but I can't until I get my shifts covered. Once that pressure was off, it made it even more fun and easier just to go in. I still go in there.
I feel like it's like, forgive this comparison, but it's like Goofy's Kitchen. Like you go in and it's like the characters are there and you get like it's less so you like
Totally.
actually crossing the table.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, God, this was so fun. Thank you so much for
Yes,
doing
thank
this.
you.
Hopefully we run into each other at Costa Vega sometime.
Yes, would love that. I'm there every week.
Okay. Bye guys.
Great.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.